Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to Financial Lovemaking, where we talk about love, life, money, and everything in between. I am here with my buddy, partner, and co-host, the entertainment director at Ebony Magazine, Miss S. Tia Brown. How you doing today, Tia?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well, really well. You know, I was thinking today that it would be fun to really get the audience's attention by putting on a dress. And a wig, maybe do a little Boyce Watkins twerk,
Oh,
just work it out. I mean, that seems to be working. It seems like,
you
you
need to let our viewers in on what your angst is about. Go ahead.
well, just for the record, you ain't never gonna see me twerking, and you ain't gonna see me wearing a wig. But yeah,
I think that's your slipping.
right. I know. If you see me out like that, then you need to just go ahead and get me locked up because I've clearly lost it at that point. But no, in all seriousness, we were talking about the just the massive number of black men, masculine black male actors and comedians that we have seen just in the last 10, 12 years alone, put on a dress and put on a wig in order to make people laugh. And at first it's kind of like, okay, well, it's just part of the job, people just kind of doing their thing. But when you look at how long the list is, it's like, holy crap, like what's going on here? I mean, you've got Terry Crews, who did his recent Old Spice commercial. I wrote an
Which
article
is
about
kind of like the catalyst for all of Boyce's rage, we should point
Well,
out.
you know what? It's not rage. No. Let me clarify that though. It's not rage against Terry Crews.
Oh, absolutely.
I like this dude. I really do. I think Terry Crews is so talented. And I remember his career back when he was, doing, those Friday movies, which I'm sure they, back then they probably paid all the actors $1.50 an hour.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Ice Cube keeps his budget tight. Now that's my man though. Much respect to Ice Cube. Love him, but that was the key to his
Keeping
genius.
the budget tight, he was able to create a platform for
Yes.
so many celebrities. So hats off to him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Much respect to Ice Cube. He's like the black man's Oprah Winfrey. But yeah. So I love Ice Cube to death. But when you look at the list of actors, and I'm pulling the list up here, it's kind of amazing. I mean, you can go back to Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, of course. Of course, you have Tyler Perry. But then you have others that people don't think about, like Wesley Snipes, of course, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart, LeBron James, Charles Barkley, who did something for an ad, Chris Tucker, Ving Rhames.
Wayans brothers and white chicks.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about White Chicks. It's funny. I watched White Chicks just the other day, and I mean, it's a funny movie. Well, I mean, the Wayans family is just
Hilarious.
yeah, they're just. One time I met Damon Wayans, and I kid you not, it was funny. I was on that's ESPN show. Quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith. So I just walk in, and Damon Wayans is standing there, and back then, I remember I would get frozen up, when I would see celebs. It would kind of like.
You were shell shocked.
Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna lie, I was shell shocked. So I was like, and he said, hey, he said, I'm gonna get a copy of your book. He's talking about my book, What If George Bush Were a Black Man? He said, I want to read your book. And I was like, oh, okay. But in all seriousness, though, I mean, I think that the Wayans family is, probably the greatest comedic family in history. I mean, I can't think of anybody else that's just really done what they've done. They are so awesome. But we got to talk about this. What is it? And Dave Chappelle brought this up, and I'm so grateful for him, having an honest conversation. What is it about a black man in a dress that makes people comfortable, happy? What makes them laugh about that? Why do we see that so often? I mean, you don't see Leonardo DiCaprio in a dress, George Clooney, Matthew McConaughey. You don't see these masculine white male sex symbols, Hugh Jackman. These guys aren't going to wear a dress to make somebody laugh. But yet, it seems that so many, the more masculine you are as a black man, the more likely it is that somebody's going to try to put you in a dress. What's the agenda here? I don't understand this.
Well, I mean, a lot of people feel like it's a continuation of the emasculation of black men. You take this powerful figure, and how do you make him seem not as strong? You put him in a dress. I think when, Hollywood is creating these big ideas, I don't know if there's like a concerted effort to say, let's put all black men, or let's put black men in dresses and not white men. But we do know that it happens more frequently to men of color than white leading actors, as you said. Now, this is the thing. Oftentimes it's funny. And when viewers watch this, when you watch a Medea, when you watch White Chicks, when you watch Shanae from Martin, the first thing you're thinking isn't, oh my gosh, why would they do this to a black man? The first thing you're often thinking is, oh, this is really funny. But then, when you look at the body of work, I think the issue becomes the lack of diversity in what comedians are able to offer based on their gender and color. So do I enjoy it individually? Absolutely. But do I notice, excuse me, that there's a trend that is impactful to black men in a way that it isn't for, like you said, white male actors? I do as well. I don't know what the answer is for that, though. Honestly.
Well, you know what? I can say this. When I think about Terry Crews in particular, my appreciation for his work is it's a little bit dichotomous in that, I love the success he's had. He does make me laugh when I see him on screen most of the time. And I love the fact that he played
the uppercut.
Right. I love the fact that he played this responsible black father figure on Everybody Hates Chris.
And then Are We There Yet as well?
Yes, and I think that's so awesome because
he also had his reality show on BET. I just wanted to add that in. So we've seen him in a lot of different capacities in fictitious roles and in real life playing a very responsible black man.
Right, but then there's kind of like that other crazy side of Terry Crews, right? Clown to the nth degree, like extreme clown, like taking off the shirt, flexing the muscles, and playing music with his bicep, with his whatever that muscle in your chest.
Don't hate on the beautiful bicep.
You know what? I don't hate on it. I don't hate on it. God bless him for it. No.
That's entertainment.
It is entertaining. It is entertaining, but what's kind of the white equivalent of that? I mean, other than maybe Jack Black or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's great for him, but I almost feel that that you have an overabundance of black men who play the role of the court jester, but there are very few of us who get to play the role of the king. Right? You can never be the king if you're the court jester. It's hard to pull that off.
And this absolutely speaks to what we've talked about in the past, where even when we talked about Empire, the issue isn't him playing that role. The issue is there an opportunity for him to play another role? And while we might see him in some ways in the father role, but no, there isn't the opportunity for him to play king as often as it is for him to even just play doting black dad. And I do think that that's problematic. But I also don't want to take away from the right to do things that are entertaining and diverse and sometimes silly in it being entertainment. But we do know that the media doesn't just reflect how people feel, it also shapes how people feel. So it's such a hard balance. I hate to throw actors under the bus for getting work.
Right. Nobody's going to throw anybody under the bus. I don't think that's what we're trying to do. I agree with what Dave Chappelle told Oprah, where he said that, what bothered him, why he walked away from $50 million, is that he realized that in this pressure to deliver for all the money he was getting, he realized he was doing things that were not socially responsible. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the idea of, putting social responsibility somewhere in the equation when you're choosing which roles you take. I also have a lot of respect for Denzel. Like, you'll never see Denzel do anything like that. Denzel ain't putting on nobody's dress. He might play some characters that are like, whoa, but Denzel ain't putting on nobody's dress, because I think Denzel knows that we hold on to that image of him as a man, and that we respect that image. We need that image, right? Idris Elba ain't putting on no dress for nobody. And so I think, while you got actors that are going to do what they got to do in order to get by, we definitely have to exalt and applaud the actors who say, no, I have standards. My standard is not money. I don't work for money. But
I also feel like that is an attack against actors who have different talent base, and who have a different talent base and their decisions. So if you compare like a Dave Chappelle, who's a phenomenal actor, who had, a family that was able to support him making certain decisions, and Denzel, who's a certain type of actor, and then you have, a comedic actor like a Jamie Foxx or a Terry Crews, who has a different body of work overall. I don't want to say that, just because of their decision to venture off into roles that some people think are less masculine and some people might think are just funny, that means that they aren't socially responsible. So
I don't think anybody's saying that, but let's make this clear.
Right.
If Idris Elba picked up the phone and called his agent or called, some Hollywood studio and said, I'd be willing to put on a dress for a film, he would make a lot of money for that. Like they would love to see that. I mean, so to me, your talent is measured by what people are willing to pay for. If Denzel agreed to put on a dress, he could probably make double what he would make in a normal film because it's so rare. So I think that there is a standard there that they uphold. And some of these actors, I mean, Terry Crews, yeah, he does comedy, but Terry Crews can also be a serious actor,
absolutely
right?
Can. And I hear what you're saying in terms of would someone be willing to watch Denzel or Idris do it? But in the same way, someone might be willing to watch Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, Wesley Snipes was in Too Long Fu, but so was Patrick Swayze. Now, I'm not going to dispute that we have more Shanae's and Wanda's from The Living Colors in terms of Black portraying those crossover roles and Medea's than mainstream, but it does go, for lack of a better word, term both ways.
Well, you know what I love. Here you go. And again, rather than chastising those who change their standards, I think it's important to keep applauding those who maintain their standards. I'm gonna have to go back to Denzel. Just the OG in the game. Much respect to this man. One thing about Denzel that I loved was I remember he did an interview where he said that his first big role that he was offered was a role, and he didn't give the name of the film, but he said I call it The Nigga That They Couldn't Kill. That's what he said. He said, that's what I call it. And he said that he was offered a ton of money to do this, and he was broke at the time. And he said that he talked to, I believe it was Sidney Poitier, who said, I'm not going to tell you to take the role or not take the role, but that first big role that you take on is going to set the standard for the rest of your career. And so Denzel walked beyond the role, and later on he got something big. And I think, we have to applaud this. I think we have to think about, what our most esteemed actors and actresses are doing in Hollywood, and the fact that it does have an impact on something other than their bank account. We have to keep that in mind.
And one of the things that we talk about a lot here on Financial Lovemaking is how your selection of mate and their values impacts your choices. So you look at the men who've been able to make decisions that are stronger, whether or not we totally agree with their body of work or not. We see that they do have spouses who are being supportive. Dave Chappelle, Denzel Washington, and even Terry Crews. Even though you might not like all of his work, he's had a great body of work, and he has a wife who's very supportive in his choices and I think kind of helping guide him in his career. So I definitely don't want to not underscore the fact that we need strong couples. And when you're looking for a mate, make sure that you are selecting someone who isn't putting money first, who understands that sometimes delayed gratification has a huge impact on overall quality of life, and who supports you and agrees with your values.
And don't try to marry a man who's wearing a dress. That ain't gonna work. That's what they call a red flag. Anyway. Well,
I think life is all about balance, and
yes.
I give kudos to actors who were able to open up doors by being able to play diverse roles, as well as those who were able to make other decisions that honored their personal preference. The importance to me isn't just having one role. It's about having that diversity and to have the opportunity to portray Black men in every light. We have kings and we have court jesters. We need to be able to see both.
Yes, diversity is the key. So if you wear the dress one time, don't wear it for the next 10 roles.
Absolutely.
But if you wear it 3 times in a row, then we're going to talk about you. Well, thank you very much.
Voice will be mad.
Well, I'm not mad. I'm just asking the question. Like I said, much love to Terry Crews. Much respect for his brother. I don't want any more angry celebrity phone calls. I've gotten a few of those, and you have too.
And I should make sure that we make this clear. Our issue isn't with the actor, it's with Hollywood in general and the opportunities that arise for men in Hollywood, Black men specifically, are who we're talking about today. So we'd love to hear your thoughts about this topic. Write in and let us know. Thank you as always for listening. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.